Bloody cockerels. They don't ever stop. I thought cockerels were supposed to go off like early in the morning. They do it 24 hours a day. Anyway, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Who have we got? Oh, let me just make this full screen again. It makes it a bit easier. However you do it. View. Oh. 1 minute. Slight technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. That's it. Right. Andy. Hello, how are you? Whereabouts are you? Are you in England? Yes, all is good. It's a lovely Saturday morning, 5:30 a.m. I thought I'd get up nice and early. Well, I get up most mornings quite early now. You know how it is when the sun isn't actually shining at the minute because it's not risen, but when it's nice and warm, you tend to get up a bit earlier. When it's cold and horrible, you tend to stay in bed and pull the covers back over you. Anyway, good on you, Andy. Hello, Dwayne. How's it going? What are you up to this Saturday? How's all of your hope? How's all of your hope? All okay? Well done, Tyler Parson, driving test. Glad you had rain. All we need is some of your sun. Yeah, I have heard it's been pretty crap in England for months now. It's like I don't think I've ever known it to be so bad. I know before I come over here, it was raining a lot, an awful lot, and that was back in December, the first half of January. There was nothing but rain, and so what I hear is it's pretty much rained ever since anyway, up until now. But you are getting some sort of like slightly warmer temperatures now, so summer's on its way. Anyway, Dwayne, what are you up to? Dragon fruit looks weird, but tastes nice. And Ken got fruit from, what's that? Snap to branch. That would save you. Yeah, there's trees everywhere with fruit on them. I don't even know what half these fruits are. it's you know, I'm used to just going into like the supermarket and get some. I'd probably buy bananas, maybe some tangerines, a couple apples, something like that, pears. But here, the fruits are like flipping neck. There's so many different varieties. It's mind-boggling. So it's a case of slowly but surely you'll taste one here, taste one there, and you'll get to know what they all are eventually. But a lot of them, they're on the trees, and if you walk around, it's just like you can walk down the road from here, and there's a jungle. There's literally a flipping jungle. You can walk. I'm not even gonna step foot in that jungle because I'd probably be eaten alive by all the insects and God only knows what. And so some people mention snakes. Although we found a snake over there, if you go into the jungles here, there's a high chance you might step on one because you know they like to hide under rocks and God only knows what. And I don't fancy sort of like they're gonna, if a snake sees you, it's going to avoid you at the best of times. But I mean, if you're just walking around in like thick jungle and all that and undergrowth, there's a high chance you might just come across one and step on it and it could go for you. So I don't fancy being bit by a snake. I always remember going into Monk's Wood, out just Ramsey Way, and it was late afternoon, the exact time when all the insects come out, and it was a hot afternoon as well, and all the insects come out, and there was like big flipping, you could see them, big bunches of insects all buzzing around. And I thought, no, let's get the hell out of here. And that's pretty much what it's like here. Certain times, and because of the extreme heat, the flipping bugs are everywhere. So you sort of like you've got to limit where you go. But I'm definitely avoiding like jungle areas. But you can, if you wanted to, you can go into these jungles and just explore. There's just so much to bloody see around here. It's just being aware of what insects are around you, really, because that's the biggest problem. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Climb the. Oh yeah. That up the gravel. Well, it's more like a mud path here. What it was, I didn't really say it too well on the video. I was in bed, and I got a phone call, and it was Tyler. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was Tyler on the phone, and he goes, "Dad, I'm at the end of the drive. I can't get down to the house." He goes, "There's a tree blocking the drive." I thought, what the hell? So we walked up there, and a flipping great big branch in the middle of the bloody driveway sort of thing. And it's like, I looked up and there's another branch up there, which looks like it's pretty much about to break as well. I know back in England, they do a lot of tree surveys and all stuff like that. And especially where I was living, they've got like a little, because it's like that the council won't get involved in that area, you have to pay like a maintenance charge to cover the gardening costs and insurance for the pathways and that sort of thing. They have to have guys come round and inspect all the trees and make sure they're safe all the time. But over here, I don't think that's the case. They might happen somewhere, but from what I've seen so many trees now that are precarious, to say the least. There was going down the road the other day, and there was a coconut tree really high up, and it was leaning off the side of the road on an embankment, like coming off at a really funny angle, like it was about to fall onto the road. And I'm looking at it and thinking that's going to come down at some point. But I think what it all boils down to over here is whatever area it's run by, like a mayor of a town or something like that, and depends how much funds they've got to actually get things done. So I think a lot of things just get left. So if a tree falls down, it's just an act of God. Just make sure you're not in the way when it comes down. I think that's just the way it is out here. So it's a bit like when I was in Malai City, and a tree branch snapped off and fell on top of a car. It was the most bizarre situation I'd ever come across, because you had 30, 40 people all stood around the car. They got the guys out of the car, but they just stood around the car like doing nothing. And then the police eventually came along, just looked around, and then just pissed off like it was nothing. You know how it'd be in England if something like that happened. There'd be the police around there. They get all their tape around. They cordon the area off. Nobody would be able to go near the scene. But over here, it's different. Everyone's just around with their phones taking pictures. It's I like it because it's more interesting. It means if I see something happen, I can get in close and I can get to the action. So I do like that point of thing. But from the person's point of perspective, if you get in an accident or something like that, then don't rely on the emergency services getting to you anytime soon. Anyway, I better move on, Dwayne. Good morning to you. I mean, good evening. It's night time, isn't it, over there? It's probably just gone 10:30 at night. Hi, Vivian. How's you? Hope you're well. Delighted Tyler passed his test. Greetings from Peterborough rail station. Where you been? Oh, I know where you've been. I'll say no more. Oh, well, hope it all goes well for you, Vivian. You're out late, aren't you? I'll carry on. I think you need to put in a swimming pool of your own, keep you all cool, and if times get hard, you got the water. Yeah, well, I don't think we're making it. You probably could put a swimming pool here. There is actually room. You'd have to sell a lot of pigs first, that's for sure. In fact, I'm putting a video out probably later today. I've had it done for a couple of days now. I just haven't put it out. It's Ken sold a couple of her pigs, like the first proper sale. So them pigs have been a long old process getting them to the point where they can start selling them. So we'll see how that goes. Right, I better carry on. Artisan Cars. Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Not bad. I've just had a massage. Ken just gave me a massage because I woke up and my flipping back, man, it's oh God almighty. It's like I'm getting to that age. So crack out the oils and give me a good massage. I feel a lot better now. But it's just gone 5:30 in the morning. This is the best time for me to actually do a live stream because it's nice and cool. The sun will be up in a bit. Well, the sun is actually up now, but it's not. When it comes over the roof of the house is over there, and it comes down and it actually gets up in the sky. It gets really hot, and for so long now, it's been really, really hot. April over here is the month, like the height of summer, they call it. Although there isn't really any seasons over here, April is the month where it's pretty much the hottest month of the year. And boy, oh boy, flipping heck, the heat is getting to me. I'm telling you, I can sit here on the porch, say 2-3 in the afternoon, and I've got the shade over me. The roof is over me, so they've got a shade and everything. The sun isn't on me, but I could have my laptop just sat there, and the flipping, it's like cooking. Like, even if I play a video on the laptop, it's like I can put my hand on the laptop, and you can feel it's hot. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, this thing ain't going to last long before the bloody electrics give up. I actually don't think electronic components out here, like computers and cameras and all that sort of thing, have much of a lifespan in this heat and this bloody climate. Anyway, I better move on. Ian, how are you doing, Ian? Yeah. Did you know it's been like 2 weeks now before I put a live stream out? Didn't even realise. You wouldn't believe how fast time just goes. It's just boom. And the funny thing is, I'm not really doing much. I get up every day and I'll do something, but the time just flies. Unbelievable. I'll tell you where we went the other day. Carmen Cotabato, whoever it's called. It's like a Muslim area. When I done a video on when we went to a little town called Kibawi, it's just past Kibawi. Well, a little bit more just past Kibawi, a bit further on. But holy crap. I was going to make a video on going there, but I scrapped it in the end because I took the drone out there because there's some fantastic scenery. It's like mountainous area and winding roads and everything, and it's just beautiful out there. And I took the drone out there to get the video, and for some reason that bloody drone, because what I do is when I do like a circle of an area to get the video on the drone, I use what's called quick shots. It's a built-in preset into the drone where it will do a certain flight path, because I can't control it manually to get the perfect shot, and it wouldn't do it. It just wouldn't do it. It just sort of like stayed there and moved a little bit, and there was something faulty with it. So I got it back here, and it needed a firmware update. So after I'd done that, then all of a sudden it started working again, but it was too late. I'd already missed the chance. So when I get back out to that area, I'll get some good video footage. But boy, it was windy out there. You're on top of like the mountain cliffs where the winding roads are, and it's wind is blowing. But to tell you something, to actually be there and see the scenery is just like, oh, it's flipping awesome. Anyway, I shall carry on. Sprinter Van Life UK, how are you doing? Good morning to you. Good evening to you. I keep forgetting. It's good morning here and good evening there. I have been dealing with cars as normal. Yes. Well, you know what? That's life, isn't it? Bloody hell! I had 40 years of cars, but you get up every day and you get, you once you're into it, you know what you got to do the next day. And the worst bit for me was, as the more modern the cars got, the more problems they caused. And it was the kind of problems where you haven't got an answer to things. That's the most frustrating things. And sometimes when you get a really big job that you don't even know if it's going to work when you've done it and stuff like that. But I guess for the most part, it's not that bad a job. It was all right. And in fact, most of the time I was fixing cars, I enjoyed it. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. In my next video, which I'm coming out, I did get a clip of a guy underneath a truck. It was just sort of like parked outside a shop, a pizza place, where I sat down and had a little meal. There was a guy just working on a truck. He was underneath it, so I filmed him just doing a few bits. So that sort of like brought back a few memories. Global warming. Well, I know it's the they call it the El Nino, whatever it is, some kind of phenomenon that causes either severe drought, which is the case over here, or just severe weather patterns. So yeah, I know last April over here, it was when I arrived on the plane, it was like a really shaky descent coming from Singapore down into Davao, because there was so many. By late afternoon when we were arriving here, there was massive clouds in the sky, big thunder clouds, and we had to come down through the clouds, and it was like, I'm like, oh my God, the plane was shaking, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to shit myself here. But every day that I was here, more or less, last April in 2023, it would be hot during the day, beautiful, and then usually by late afternoon, you'd have thunderstorms, real like sheet lightning and bolt lightning coming down, and heavy thunder and torrential downpours. This year, there's been next to nothing apart from the last few days. We've had about 2 or 3 really good downpours, which have been much appreciated, because we are really running out of water. Mike, hello. Hope you're having egg on toast for brekkie today. Do you know something? I'm getting tired of eggs. Oh, I thought it was a nice thing to have eggs every day, but you get bored of it after a while, I'm telling you. And I'll tell you something else as well. Back in England, do you remember when the price of eggs went through the roof? And all of a sudden, like Tesco's and that, they ran out of eggs. There was none left. And then all of a sudden, when they started stocking up again, the eggs were really expensive. I thought, you know what, stuff is, I'm not buying no more. I'm not buying no more eggs in England. And I used to like buying eggs because I did have a lot of eggs for like breakfast and stuff like that. But when the price went up, I thought, no, I've had enough. I'm not paying these prices. So I never had eggs for ages. Now I come over here, there's more eggs than you could ever eat. And when you have eggs every day, it's like, what, again? I'm going to have to sort of like get pancakes or something else. We've done well here in Bolton. Nearly 3 days without rain. Yeah, it would drive me round the twist, flipping grey sky and raining every day. That just pissed me off. It really would. You know, it's a lot of people have got that sad disease, haven't they? Where you need a bit of sun to make you feel better. And nah, it's like the trouble is, it's all right when you're younger, but the older you get, the more it affects you. The cold and the damp, it gets to you. It gets to your bones. And it's all very well living in a nice, you know, central heated house and all that. But if you have to get up every day and go out and do stuff and you're out in the weather and, you know, especially when you're fixing cars and stuff like that, you're outside quite a bit. You know, it bloody, it gets to you eventually. So roll on the sun. I will say though, as much as there's been sun over here, I still ache. So, anyway, John, hello, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Ziad, hello. Hello, my dear friend. You are a very smart teacher. I've never had myself down as a teacher. I just bang on a bit of bullshit, but it seems to get me by. But thank you anyway. And wherever you are, where are you? In actual fact, where are you, Ziad? What country are you in? Are you in England? I have done a bit of PDI today, and it's a good job that I work as a team. Is that pre-delivery inspection? Because if that's what it is, it's it's a long time since I've done some of that. I used to do that at Marshall's, brand spanking new Austin Maestros, and you have to remove the plastic off the seats and stuff like that. It's you know, PDIs was that was a nice little job to do because you didn't get dirty. It was a brand new car. You just went round it, done your checks, and everything was great. Nice and simple, just how I like it. Out here, out here. Hello. Do you have a permanent visa? No. No. You can't. It's for me. That's pretty much no chance. It's not like you can get a visa out here to be permanent. The way it is out here, for someone like me, I'm classed as a tourist. I'm just like an extended vacation. I've got to keep extending my visa every 2 months. Unless you get married, it lightens up a little bit. But at the moment, I can stay here for 3 years, but I've got to keep extending. So every 2 months, or they might. It depends where you are. Sometimes you can get 3 months. I'm not really sure, but at the moment, as far as I know, I've got to keep renewing my visa every 2 months. And at the end of 3 years, I have to get on a plane, leave this country, probably go to Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, or somewhere. Have an away day, you know, like a trip out, and then you can come back the same day if you want. You can go away for half an hour if you like and come back. You just got to leave the country, come back, and it starts all over again. The immigration over here is really tight. So if you haven't got a visa out here, or if you let your visa run out and you don't renew it, you're in trouble. You'll be fined and possibly deported. So you've got to keep it up. Dennis, hello. I miss the old booking garage life you had. Oh, well, yeah. It was okay there. It was a nice garage. It was a good job. But it's like everything moves on eventually. But I have I have a load of video. I mean, I've got a ton of videos from the garages I used to work at. So I've always got their memories there. And I guess for most people, some of the videos I put out add some reasonable information. So they've helped people out over the years. But life always moves on, doesn't it? Nothing ever stays the same. But you never know. I've got to go back to England at some point, and I'll go back and see Steve and all my friends back there. So we'll see what happens in the future. But for the time being, I'm just enjoying it out here. It's a nice life here. It's maybe I should go into it one day, but from what I'm gathering out here, it's just so different to England. It really is. But that's for another time. Gar. It is mostly pickup trucks there. Yeah. But do you know what? Believe me, I think you need them. There are so many pickup trucks here. If I was to go into like Davos City, there's tons of cars, but most of them are Toyotas, the Vios, Mitsubishi Mirage, which is basically the same car, Toyota Wigos and Twingos and whatever they're called. I've seen a few Focuses, but yeah, most of the vehicles out here are SUVs or pickups, and the roads are pretty good, I must say. And they're actually from here in Merrimack, if I was to go towards the city, they're really upgrading all the roads, and some of the roads have got tarmac on them now. They're not like the concrete roads; they've got actual tarmac on them, and they're so nice to drive on. And most of the roads are like 4 lanes sometimes, so it's not bad at all. But as soon as you get off the highway and you get onto side roads, which a lot of the side roads go down to villages and stuff like that. There is a good example. Well, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to film it when I go there again, which should probably be this weekend. There's a barangay just past Quezon town, which is I don't know, it's 5-6 miles from here. There's a village down there where I collect some eggs from, and the highway going to this village is beautiful. But as soon as I turn off the highway, it's about 1.5 miles down, and the road is pretty bad. And if you're in a car, it's not a nice ride at all. It's all right for a motorbike. If you're like a dirt bike, it's great, it's brilliant. But if you're in a car, it's not fun. Even in Ken's Subaru, I'm gonna have to drive really, really slow because it will mess your suspension up. The road is that bad. And I think a lot of people out here anyway, they have these pickups because they can pour stuff in the back. They've got to transport a lot of things about because it's more of a rural community. So it kind of makes sense why so many people have to have the pickup trucks. Anyway, Harold. Hello, Harold. How are you? Good evening to you if you're in England. I've got my hot chocolate at the moment. I know you're supposed to have this in the evening time, but I like a hot chocolate first thing in the morning. What is the time, by the way? I don't even know. Oh, 4 minutes to 6. I miss your old boring garage. Mike, time for a chainsaw, Alan. It would be nice. There's a few trees I'd like to take down. No, my luck, I'd flip in chainsaw and it'd come down on top of me. Vaughan, hello. You're up early. What is it there, mate? What is it there, mate, about 5? Yeah, it was 5:30 when I started this live stream. And it's 6 o'clock now. But it's nice. It's nicer this time of the morning. That's the thing. I can lie in bed all night long and no cover on me whatsoever. Don't need a cover. Don't need a blanket. Don't need nothing. All you need is a mattress. And you're like, I've got the fan on me all night long. It's that warm. There are some mornings when you do actually feel a little bit of a chill when it gets a bit cooler, and you might pull a thin blanket over you. But at the moment, it's just you need a fan out here. You really do, unless you've got some kind of wind blowing through onto you. And I say, when you get to the afternoon, if you've got no air conditioning or nothing, you're sitting there and you're just pouring your sweat. And quite often, I'm walking around town or anywhere, and I've got a thin t-shirt on like this, and my back, you can feel the beads of sweat just pouring down your back, and the whole of the back of my t-shirt is just soaked. The video I'm going to pull out later, I've got a video I'm going to put on YouTube later today. I got out the car. I didn't actually shave, but when I got out of the car, I had to take my t-shirt off, okay, because I was that flipping wet with sweat, and I couldn't get it off. You know when you're trying to put a t-shirt off and it's sticking to you because it's so soaking wet. That was the case, and it wouldn't flipping come off. But yeah, so out here, it's just, you know, back in England. At my age, okay, I'm 56 years old. I would not walk around the streets without a top on. I'd do it at work because everybody I sort of like know there, so I wasn't bothered at work. But I wouldn't walk around the streets or town topless at my age. That's something for like kids to do. But here, most part, I don't flipping care, and a lot of other people are like it as well. You just take your top off because it's just too hot. And nobody cares. Nobody bats an eyelid. So, Graham, hello. I love the background sounds of the chickens on on these fab feeds. Always there. I'm sure it gets annoying sometimes. Congrats, Tyler. Graham, west of London. Chartered engineer. Oh, nice. Sounds like a good job. And if you're living near London, you must be earning a pretty penny over there. Well, thank you, Graham. Yeah, there's so many laws out here. It's mind-boggling how to sort of like what exactly is going on. But as far as Tyler's driving test, from what I can gather so far, he'd done his theory test, but they wouldn't allow him to sit in a car and do any driving because he never had an ACR card, and he needs an ACR card because it's got a number on it. They needed that number. So when we got our ACR cards, they allowed him to take his driving lessons. And the funny thing is, there's, you know, like in England, you have a separate examiner to test you once it's all done. Here, the guy who done the theory test was the same guy who sat in the car with Tyler when he went for his lessons, and it was the same guy who passed him. So, so it's like you've got one person teaching you the theory, how to drive, and passing you at the same time. So I think you'd have to be pretty incompetent to fail. But it's a bit bizarre because Tyler's only 17, and although he's passed his driving test now, he still can't drive a car because he's only 17. If you're a foreigner in this country, you have to be 18 before you can legally drive a car on the road. I'm pretty sure if you're Filipino, you can be 16 to drive, but don't quote me on that 100%. But as a foreigner, you've got to be 18. So Tyler now has to wait until September before he can actually drive a car legally, when he'll be issued his driving license and his student permit. So, but I believe that that's not a proper full Filipino driving license he's got. It's a license which enables him to drive, but I think there's another more full license you have to apply for later on after you're 18. But I'll look into that later if we're here. So we'll work it out as we go along, one thing at a time. Mike, did you vote yesterday? I didn't even know there was anything election going on. What elections are going on over there? I'm totally sort of like, I don't even read what's going on in England anymore. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, back in 1995, I mean, my parents were Labour through and through. But in 1995, I voted Conservative under John Major. And at the time, it was kind of like, they were like good days, if you ask me. They were the good old days. Things were great. But ever since 2016, up until 2016, you know, I didn't really give a damn about politics. But after 2016, when Trump got elected as the American president and we had Brexit over here in England, and I used to sort of like watch the Channel 4 news, because I like Trump and I was all for Brexit as well. But I saw the bias on the news channel and it was so blatantly obvious. I mean, you know, I'm all for hearing both sides of the story, but you wasn't getting that. You were getting the one-sided, they were putting the one side down, you know, like Orange Man was bad and that was the end of it. The discussion closed and Brexit was a terrible thing. And, you know, sure, that wasn't what I wanted to hear, but I mean, I would have liked to hear a decent argument on both sides. But, you know, you just don't get that from the mainstream media. So I started listening to independent people on YouTube, you know, who give a more fairer analysis of what's going on. But yes, it's like after 2016, it was like I was just sick and tired of it all, of what I could see. What to me, I perceived it as wrong what was going on. So at that point, I eventually got rid of my TV license. I stopped paying my TV license. Not that I watched TV much anyway after that. And I just basically watched the computer, YouTube and stuff like that. And, you know, I did find that if you watch too much politics, it's kind of like does your head in after a while, drives you around the twist, because there's so much crap going on all the time. But now I've come over here, I don't really sort of like get involved in what's going on. I do see occasionally, you know, I did see what's going on the other day. GB News, he went to some kind of, there was a bus load of migrants and all these people would slash the tyres on the bus and they had surrounded this bus and they all got their signs, migrants welcome, whether, you know, or was it refugees welcome? Well, they're not refugees, are they? They're economic migrants. So, you know, we're just being fed lies all the time from, you know, I just despair what's going on in England. I really do. But anyway, getting back to the point, I won't vote Conservative again because they have constantly lied, and especially over COVID. That was the biggest fucking lie of all time, if you ask me. They knew it was no threat to you than more it was to me. You know, it was a load of rubbish. If you ask me, they should have just let this bloody COVID go. They've done what they've done in Sweden. Give everybody the choice to either wear a mask, do what the hell they like, just take precautions on your own back, rather than locking down the country and causing all the debt and chaos that is ensued, and all the people that have died needlessly due to bad management by the government. So I won't vote Conservative again. Labour, I just despair at Labour because I get the feeling they'll just cave into Islam, and the way the Islamic people or parties in England are trying to get into the government, and if they do get into the government and try and take over, they'll put their Sharia law in force, and if that gets in force in England, then God help the country. it won't be a very nice place at all. I shouldn't think that'd happen, but the way it's going, who knows anymore. I don't like Labour. I don't like their policies. If you ask me, they're socialists, they're communists. You know, if you go back through history and look at all these communist countries, it's always revolutions and problems and trouble. It doesn't work, but they still keep trying to push it. So there isn't much of a choice, really, is there? And it really is a choice of between Labour and Conservative. And I can't vote for either, because I just despair that no matter who you vote for, nothing's going to get any better. The only party that I think I would vote for if I was over there would be Reform UK. I would like to see them I'd like to see an independent party get in that pledges they're going to do this, this and this, and they'd actually do it. Whether that would actually happen or not is another thing. You know what they say, all these politicians, they say one thing, and when they get in, they do nothing or do the opposite. So anyway, Mike, I better get on because I'm just sort of like ranting on. Why? Hello, Alan and family. Hope you all good. I saw recently a running water lake. I suppose to say I wonder the water us slowly dying due to hot and no rain. Yeah. It's if you're in England, you've got plenty of water. Over here, just across the road, I can literally walk across the road, and a couple miles down, they've got the I forget the bloody name of it now, but they've got it's like a river and springs and fresh water coming down off the mountains, and you can go and swim in it. So it is quite nice over here too. You've got water everywhere that you can go swimming in, but the biggest problem here with the drought is actual drinking water. So you've got the deep well here, which is really low now, and if that runs out, we've got big problems. We get the big blue, like 20-litre bottles delivered here, 2 at a time. Put them on water dispensers. That's our drinking water. But the big problem is having enough water to shower, to wash all the time, and to flush the toilet. And when it rains, like if you've seen the videos, when it rains and pours off the gutter into the big 200-litre barrels, we use that water for dishwashing, toilet flushing, showering. You know, I got the water out of one of them barrels the other day, and I had a shower, and I poured the water over me. It was like 30 degrees temperature, that water. It was like taking a hot shower. But when it runs out in this drought, it runs out really fast. So you sort of like hope for some more rain. Otherwise, you've got to keep hauling the flipping water out of the deep well. And you don't want to take too much out because it's getting lower and lower and lower. Anyway, race car legends. Hello. Hi, Alan. Hello, Barry. How are you? How's life going? Hope you're well. Wish I had come say goodbye before you went. Hope it all goes well, buddy. Yeah, it's doing great. It's doing all right. I've been, 3.5 months here now, kind of getting into it. Still haven't quite got used to the heat. It does get to you, and the insects. You got to watch the insects. They like to bite. But no, it's a far cry from England, that's for sure. Anyway, Barry, I hope you're doing well. Hope life's doing great. You know, I keep saying life moves on, things change. Boy, I've been there a few times. One minute you're doing one thing every day, and the next minute, boom, you've got a totally different life. And that's how it is. But at the end of it, you've got good stories to tell. So I'm doing this live stream nice and early before the sun comes out, Barry, because it's flipping. It gets so warm here. It's like later on I'll be. Sometimes I have to go to a shopping mall just to get some air conditioning. We've got an aircon thing in here, but it takes a little while to cool the house down. But yeah, it's nice here. It's I keep saying it's so different from England, and I think what makes it special over here is wherever you go, it's the people that are here. They're so friendly. It's like you can have groups of people everywhere, and they all want to talk to you. They're all saying hello. They're all waving, and it's just bizarre. It's not like England. It really isn't. It's just another world out here. So I'm just like making the most of it. But anyway, Barry, it's good to hear from you. I shall see you again shortly. I will be coming back to England at some point anyway. I'll have to. But at the moment, I'm just sort of like making the most of this life. Well, have a good day anyway. Good evening, should I say. It's night time, isn't it? I keep forgetting. Saturday night in England. It's Sunday morning. What am I on about? It's Friday night in England. It's Saturday morning here. Adi, hello. How's it going? Banbury. It's going good here. How's it over there? That's the question. Plenty of rain over there, I keep hearing. There's a guy I'm watching on YouTube, actually, and he's in England, and he keeps every day he comes out with it's bloody raining again, it's raining again. And I'm thinking, flipping heck. I do say to some people who there's a particular type of person who, if you ask me, if you get the opportunity, just take a month out, book a plane, and just piss off somewhere and just try something different. Get away from the cold and the rain and all the shit and all the bullshit and just go somewhere else in the world. Because when you realise there is a big old world out there, you can kind of forget about all the crap from where you are, and it'll open your eyes to there is a different world. There is a different life. It's just even for a month, it's well worth the experience. Okay, hello, how you doing? It's all going off in the UK. Rishi has had a big kicking. God. He's a waste of flipping time, that bloody that guy, isn't he? It's like there's not one of them. There's not one of them that does anything. It's just the same bullshit all the time. No one in government has got the balls to get up and say, right, this is what we're going to do. Or is it the fact that they can't get nothing done anyway because no one will vote for them? They've got to vote for every policy they want to put through. So I despair. I really do. I think England is a lost cause. It would need some serious reform now to put it back. It's never going to get back to what it used to be, that's for sure. When you're growing up in England in the 1970s, 80s, maybe even the early 90s, you know, it weren't that bad a place. But now it just seems to be sort of like going downhill. And it's not just the fact of the social part of England, it's the cost of everything. How they allowed house prices to rise to astronomical levels. It's just ridiculous. All these kids that can't get a house anymore, they've still got to live with their parents. It's, you know, where's it all heading? It's going to be a great big divide between the haves and the have-nots. It's terrible. Bloody hell! I remember when I was when I was about 25 years old, early 1990s. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we just walked down the high street into one of the estate agents and got 100% mortgage. Boom, just like that, no problem. You know, can't do that now, can you? Anyway, I better carry on. Good evening to you, Kay. It all seems to be politics today, doesn't it? This evening. Stephen, looks like you lost weight. Yeah. You sweat a lot. And I've sweat a lot. That's for flipping sure. I'll tell you something else as well. I don't even put any deodorant on or aftershave or anything now. I've got some deodorant in there, but I don't use it. I don't bother. It's just no point. You just have to wash too many times. There's no point putting any smellies on. But in England, it was different because it's nice cool temperature. If you were going out for the evening, you would have a shower, put some smellies on, go out, be all nice. But over here, it's just hot. It's hot in the morning. It's hot in the day. It's hot in the evening. You've got to keep washing. Your armpits get smelly. Oh, it's like... I'll carry on. Barry, loved your video about Steve's before you left. Good times. Do you know, I really had to get that video. I didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. But I thought to myself, fuck me, I've got to go down and see Bernie, because that garage in Oakenbury Village was like a pivotal point in the history of Steve's Taxis to me, because it was where I started. I know you started in Blackstone Road. I'm sure you did anyway. Yeah, it's Blackstone Road you started in. But at the Oakenbury garage, that's where I started. And although it was no more than a chicken shed, I had some flipping good times in that place. I mean, when you come from a place like Marshall's, which is quite a modern old garage, and you go into a shed like that in Oakenbury, where you got the water dripping through the roof into buckets, and the ramp was something out of Noah's Ark, and everything was difficult. Everything was a chore to get done, but it was fun. It was so much fun back in them days. And even in Blackstone Road, although that was a more modern unit, they were some good old times there. So I had to go and see Bernie and get him on video. And he goes to, I said to him, Bernie, I'm leaving. Can I get you talking about Steve Taxis, this your garage and everything you've done here? And he goes, well, I'm not very good at talking. And I thought, oh yeah, right. And as soon as he started talking, he wouldn't stop. I thought, this is great. Carry on. So I got Bernie on it. And I've never, ever been able to get Steve on an interview because he doesn't really like being on camera, apart from the odd time he sort of like strolled across the film set when I'm doing something mistakenly. But I asked Steve whether he would actually take an interview. And I wish to God I had planned it out a bit better. I'd done it kind of on the spot and I didn't really know what I was going to say. But I kind of got a reasonable... There's a few more things I would have liked to have said, but I didn't. And the strange thing is, at the end of that interview, and I'd put all the video together, I took my SD card out and I put it in the computer, and I realised the card had pretty much, there was about 8 megabyte left on that card. And I thought, holy crap, I could have been interviewing Steve and the card would have ran out and it would have been a total disaster. And I realised I'd put the wrong card in the camera. I'd put like an 8 gig card in the camera when I should have been a 64 gig card. I was so lucky there that I ended that interview when it did. Otherwise it would have just sort of like the camera would have cut off. So, but no, I really had to get Steve on that video, and I'm so glad I did, because that is one memory that I wanted to make real. So it's like a big thank you for Steve for doing that. And you notice when you watch Steve on camera, for someone who doesn't like being on camera, he was like the most relaxed person you could ever imagine on camera. So he's more relaxed than me. And I've been doing it for years, and he's just sitting there like blasé. It's just no problem. So, but no, Steve's very chilled out these days. He's pretty great. So when I come back to England at some point, I'll be back to see him. So I'll come and see you as well, Barry, when I get back. I don't know when that's going to be, but anyway, I better move on. John, I'm surprised the S. John, I'm surprised the S. Okay, you'll have to finish the sentence. Okay. Alan, it's muggy temps here. Sweat on me brow. I bet. Have you got the heating turned up? John, I'm surprised. Here we are. I'm surprised the drone doesn't overheat. It does. I am literally frigging don't want to take it out in the day. If I took the drone out in the middle of the day, I would have to fly it for a minimum amount of time. It does overheat. It's terrible. There was, when I was at this, I think it was Bugwuck Falls, this little waterfall place. It was a really, really hot day. I took the drone up to get some aerial footage, and my phone screen went blank. The drone was right up in the sky. My phone screen went blank, and I thought, shit, I've lost the drone. And luckily, I could see where it was. And the controller, I was able to bring it down manually, but it was, my phone was literally baking hot, on fire nearly. When I got the drone down, that was really hot to touch, and I thought, this isn't good. I can't take the drone out in the heat of the day. It's going to end in disaster. It's incredible how things heat up out here. Even my iPhone, right? It's at the moment I can hold it and it's nice and cool, but if I'm out in the afternoon, I've only got to get it out of my pocket and it's quite warm to hold. I'm not even using it. And the moment I start taking a bit of video, this gets really, really hot. It's like the kind of heat that, Jesus Christ, I need to sort of like put it away somewhere cool. So it's quite bad. Anything electrical out here, even my laptop, like I said earlier, it really gets hot. Normally everything runs really nice and cool, but it's just the heat is bad. You've got to kind of like use your electronics at the cooler temperatures, otherwise you're going to do some serious damage. Tutti fruit. Tutti fruit. Fellow tractor, hello. Wish I could complain about the heat. We were already at a daily 26 degrees, and now we're back down to 12 with constant rain. Oh dear. Well, don't worry. Summer's on its way over there. Yeah, good old England. I do remember the years where usually sometimes in June it'd rain the whole month of June. That's what it's pretty much going to be like over here. June is the month of the rainy season, where it could rain every day. So I might be in for a long spell of rain myself. I'm not going to like that either. The only difference over here is that it's going to be warm. So if I want to take a shower, I've just got to walk outside and just stand there. Junglist Massive. I'll tell you something. I might actually do that. Now you mentioned it again. I might go for a walk in the jungle. But the big but is I will put my jeans on. I will put socks on. Put plenty of footwear, good footwear on. No sandals. I will put plenty of protection on all round. and go for a hike through the jungle and see what it's like. I might just do that just for the video. A lot of the Filipinos out here, they'll get in the shops, they sell these sleeves, the sleeves they put up your arms, especially if you're driving on a motorbike or car. You know, like you put your arm on the window like that, stop the sun burning your arms, because it's hot. It really is hot. The inside of the car, the dashboard, even where you put your arm on the door panel, it's like, that flipping, it's burning. You really have to sort of like be here to experience it. Even the black seat on Tyler's motorbike, if you leave that out in the sun for 5 minutes, flipping heck, even if you've got jeans on, it instantly warms your arse up. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You know, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to go for a walk through the jungle and get the camera and walk through it, and hope I come out the other side without 1,000 bites. Mike Berry, I'm not far from you. Terry, do they eat spuds? Spuds? We're going to have to import them later this year because none have been planted with all the rain. Potatoes. There's potatoes everywhere, masses of them. Yeah. Well, put it this way, to answer your question, I'm putting a video out later today, which I've had done for a few days now. This is quite a good one, by the way, because it's not a good one for the woke people who want to virtue signal about animal welfare and all that, but because 2 of the pigs got sold and they had to go to the slaughterhouse, and I went to the slaughterhouse. I didn't watch the pigs get killed, but it's like when you see animals that are going somewhere, you know they're going to be killed. It's not very nice, but this is, you know, it's life. This is reality. This is how all the meat ends up on the supermarket shelves. So I filmed all this, and I have to say I was a little bit sort of like, I don't want to see the pigs die, but you know they've got to. It's the business here. But I filmed all this, and then we went into the market, and you can see the market stalls. They're just packed with fruit and veg, and there was one bit full of potatoes, a massive, great big stall just full of potatoes, which we ate the other night. We peeled the skin off them and boiled them, and beautiful. And it's all fresh produce over here. The one thing I will say about this country is that there is literally food frigging everywhere. It's just, I can't even explain how much food there is. It's just flipping loads of it. Unbelievable amount of food. Everywhere you go, someone's selling food. Or there's market stalls, and there's stalls all down the side of the roads, and oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's like anyway, to answer the question, yeah, you'll see some potatoes in the next video. So to cut it short, Ballsy, good morning, good evening. How you doing? Eddie, hello Eddie. Watch for holiday in Jamaica. We have the air conditioning on in our room. Get ready to go for dinner. Oh, okay. Holiday in Jamaica. Okay. 1 minute, because I'll forget. There. Now I won't forget. Daniel, is that your dog? No, they're not my dogs. To be honest with you, I don't know who's. I think a few of the dogs belong to Ken, but there's dogs everywhere. It's like every time a car and motorbike comes up and down the road, all these dogs just come out of nowhere, like a little greeting party. But no, there's lots of dogs around. They're all very nice dogs, by the way. None of them bite, but they all know where to go at dinner time. So they know all the scraps get flung out. So they know where to go at what time to when it's feeding time. But yeah, there's dogs all over the place. I don't have a dog myself. Millie, hello. What car are you going to get, Tyler? Maybe a Mondeo ST220 or a Nissan Skyline. It wouldn't be a Nissan Skyline. Flipping heck. I'm surprised, actually. I haven't seen one of them out here because it's mainly Japanese cars that are over here. And there are some pretty, well, there's some pretty rough cars that I've seen, but a lot of them are Toyotas, some right old bangers. You can get some right states out here. It would probably be a Toyota Vios or one of the more common ones. Mind you, I guess out here, it doesn't really matter about insurance, does it? It's not going to cost you like £3,000 to £4,000 to insure your car. It's probably going to cost about £20 to insure your car. So, no, we'll see how it goes. We'll see when he gets his license. Okay, Terry, I'll send you a chip butty. Watch you from Jamaica in our holiday hotel. If we had that one. Especially working on someone's crap car, as we all know, while rain's dripping down your arm in wet pants off the bumper while leaning over the engine bay. I used to love doing PDIs, 3 hours a trip. Oh my God, yeah. I found snow was the worst. You would get a car covered in snow and you would bring it in, put it on the ramp, and it'd all be melting because it'd be hotter in the garage, especially if you had the heater on, and the rain would be dripping off, all the water would be dripping onto you and down, you're freezing cold. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, Mike, I know only too well. Mick, hello, Rick, how are you? Want to send my 05 plate Vito. I wish you could. I loved that van. I know it fell to pieces in the end, but I absolutely loved that van. That was probably, no, it wasn't probably. It was the best vehicle. My Ford, I don't know. I did like my Ford Scorpio, and I did like my Cortinas. They were more fun, but my Vito van was the best vehicle I ever owned. The most practical vehicle I ever owned. Only let me down once when the fan belt went, and that was due to my own negligence not servicing it. I wish that had never rusted out. If that van hadn't have rusted, I would have still had it. I wouldn't have got rid of it. I would have kept that for as long as it was going for. Daniel, are you allowed to work over there? No, you can't work on a tourist visa. So no, I'm on vacation. No, you can't work at all. DS Goody, hey, hello. Hope you're having the time of your life. Thank you for your videos over the years. I'm currently doing a head gasket on a 2015 Peugeot with the same engine, and your videos. Bloody hell. Big job. You know, as far as I got on them, just doing the timing chains, that was big enough. But flip it, you know, taking the cylinder head off one of them engines is an absolute flipping chore and half, innit? They're not like the bloody Cortina, you know, the old Pinto engine. You can have the head off in like 20 minutes if you're quick enough. Flipping heck. I mean, they're a big job. And the turbo makes it worse. Absolute nasty ass bloody job. But well, good luck to you. I hope you get it all done. and it all works out. A lot of work though. The Foxy Mechanic. Hello. Why don't you set up your own gate? You can't. It's not like that out here. For a foreigner to come to the Philippines in order to start a business up, you have to be in it with a Filipino, and the Filipino has to own, I think it's 60% of the business. So you can't come out here as a foreigner and just start a business. It doesn't work like that. It's a funny old country. It's like you can't come over here and buy a house. You can buy a condominium, but you don't own the land it sits on. If you come out here and you want a house, I'm not sure about the land. The land is going to be a problem in itself. And buying a house, you have to be in it with a Filipino or married to a Filipino. You know, they don't want foreigners coming over here and buying up property. This country is Filipinos first. You know, it's what it should be in England. It should be British people first. But it's British people last over there. But if you live over here for any time and you get to understand how things work, you will understand that no matter what's going on over here, the Filipino people do come first, from what I can see. And that's right. It's their country. The government is putting them first. They're not letting the whole world come into this country and just change their culture. They're keeping it unique over here. So that's good. I like it how it is. Anyway, I better move on. Terry Kale production has been good. Some for us, mostly for cattle feed. Oh. Eddie, the trucks going along the road at the back of the hotel have the exhaust braking and sound very loud. Eddie, you've lost me. The trucks going along the road at the back of the hotel, you've lost me. 5 in the afternoon in Jamaica. Oh, I see. Now I know what you want. You've got trucks going past where you are. Yeah. Okay. We have the air conditioner on all night in the room. Yep. Flipping heck. Anna Marie. Anna Marie, hello, how are you doing? Enjoy watching the vlogs. Love from, well, thank you very much. Much appreciated. I didn't realise it had been 2 weeks before I'd done last on a live stream. So I thought, flipping heck, I better put one out. So I thought I'd do one quick this morning. The sun is just starting to rise. It's going to come flooding through here shortly. And it'll be my time to sort of like get out of here. Robert, hi then, love the content. Greetings from Hull, East Riding of Yorkshire. Well, hello there, Robert. Do you know the furthest up north I've ever been, which is shocking really, because it's like I should have explored England a bit better. But the place I went to that sticks in my mind more than anything was Redcar. I went there years ago as a scooter boy on a Vespa 125, and we went to an all-nighter. It was a scooter run, and they had the big like indoor event where they had all the disco and everything, and it was fantastic. Thousands of scooters and all that. Long old way to go on a Vespa though, but it was a good laugh. That was a long time ago, by the way. But anyway, Robert, good to hear from you. Okay, Cadbury cream egg is the way to go. Northern Monkey, hello. How's it hanging out there, bud? First time I've managed to catch you. Oh, thank you very much. Mind you, I do try and time this sort of like at a reasonable hour, I would have liked to have put this out about 8 p.m. in England, but the problem is that'd mean me getting up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it'd be pitch black. So I time it's about 5:30 in the morning here. So it's 10:30 at night where you are. So it's sort of like not too late, because I know some people go to bed around about midnight or before. So the trouble is it's a 7-hour time gap. That's the big problem. Anyway, thank you very much for joining the live stream. Good on you. Have a good day, by the way. John, at least Tyler has got the test. Yeah. That's the main thing. He hasn't got to take another test. He can just get his license in 5 months' time and jump in a car, insure it, and away to go. Drive around. So we'll see how that goes. Eddie, I would want to drive a car on holiday in Jamaica, even do the driving on the left, the drive stupidly. Yeah, I guess it's all an experience, really. But to be honest with you, out here, although I do a lot of driving, and the only reason I'm driving a car is because Ken has a car. If she never had a car, I'd be catching public transport. I'd be getting on tricycles and buses. And I like riding the buses out here. They're like, a lot of the buses out here are kind of decrepit, and I like it. I like the fact that everything is like hanging on in there, like it could break at any moment. It's just fun. It really is. It's just great. I don't like all these big flash. I know it's nice if you're going on a long journey on a bus, you want a nice air-conditioned bus. I get that. But if you're doing short trips, it's just wild to put it. Anyway, Alan, put a ring on it. Mike, local and mayoral elections. Hopefully, Mr. Khan will be kicked out of London. Conservative Party got a bit of a kicking last night, but not genuine election yet. Yeah, well, I don't know how you're going to get Khan out. You know what they say, it's hard to kill cockroaches, isn't it? But there again, even if they do get rid of the Conservatives, what are you going to get in their place? You're going to get Keir Starmer. Flipping heck, he's going to be no better. There's no one in government that. You know what I don't seem to understand? What really gets to me is the fact that all these people in power, they don't seem to want to do anything for the country to make the country and the people who live in it a better place. They just seem to want to bring everything down. They want to make it harder and more expensive and more controlled and more authoritarian. And, you know, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. It's just like these digital roads. This is just more bullshit, more control. And all they're doing is putting themselves in a prison. That's all they're doing, imprisoning themselves. And it's just sad to see it, the way it's going. They, you know, if you can come over to a place like this and you understand what freedom is. There's no one breathing down your neck here. There's no council poll tax bullshit. There's none of that. You know, that's why I keep saying, out here, you are the navigator of your own life. So, I don't know. I don't. That's what I just don't understand. Why all these people in government are they seem to want to destroy the country. They want to make it a terrible. It just seems to me they're making it a terrible place to live. And I don't see anybody in any party apart from Reform that are going to do any better. Certainly not Keir Starmer. I mean, he's more of a socialist, isn't he? And I don't trust that guy. He says one thing and he will do the opposite. Anyway, Gabio, good evening. Hello, Milano. Oh, blimey. Well, good evening to you. Good morning to you. No, it must be good evening. How are you doing? Rishi needs to go. Yep. The question is, what do you put in his place? Rishi, pack your bags, my pedigree chum. Graham, congrats on 50,000 subscribers. Oh, thank you, Graham. I think 49,000 have probably left, but cheers anyway. Anna Marie, spotted on. They're all, yeah, they are corrupt. It's just terrible, sad state of affairs. Do you know, I watched the Mad World, Mutually Assured Destruction. There's a series on YouTube. It's about the Cold War, where they were constantly America, whatever's going, they're fighting against communism. You've got Russia on one side, America on the other side, and all the proxy wars in between, and all the politics and in what's going on. And you've got like America trying to push back on communism, and then you've got the Russians trying to push the communism. And but these days, now, where we are in 2024, it's like communism is getting closer and closer. That's what it seems like. And like I keep saying, when you look back through history and you see all the countries that are being run by communism, look what happens to them. Just search it, do some history, and spend a little bit time seeing what's happened over the you know, you go back 50 years and just watch the history on countries that are run under communist or socialist regimes. There's nothing but trouble and turmoil. They don't work, and that's all we seem to be getting. We're getting closer and closer to it. Travel Box, hi from Darwin. Well, hello to you. Have a good one. What is the time? I don't know. 10 to 7. Do you know how time flies? Stephen, Reform UK is the only way, Alan. Hope you're all well, mate. Yeah, I watched Richard Tice a fair bit, and he seems really genuine. I know that probably what he says he wouldn't be able to implement if he did get in, but at least he's got the right idea. He wants to make Britain a better place. And, you know, it's just like the average British person would probably be sitting down in their living room saying, all I want is for Britain to be a lovely, prosperous country where everyone can live a good life and, you know, progress in life. And that doesn't seem to be the way. It just seems to be that everyone's being oppressed. That's what it feels like. Maybe because that's the way I see it. I guess a lot of people in England won't see it that way. They may be having a great life over there and they think, well, no, that's totally wrong. But that's the way I see it. And that's, to me, that's not what's happening. It's I believe we need someone like Reform UK to try and change the course of the country, to try and make England a nicer place, a more livable place. But the chances of them getting in are next to none. So can't believe it. It stopped pissing it down here in England, but still not the temps you're getting over there. No. I remember the other year in England when we had near on 40-degree temperatures. Finished work, went into Tesco, and as you come out of Tesco, because it's nice and air conditioned in there, the wall of heat just boom, hits you like that, and it's like flipping heck. Oh, this is great. But over here, it's every day. It's not been 40 degrees here where I am. It's averaging 35 to 37 every day. But it's still it's the, you know, in certain countries. When I went to Italy once, and it was a kind of a nice heat, nice dry heat. Here, it's not a dry heat; it's a sticky heat. It's like really sweaty, everything. You get soaked and uncomfortable heat. It is here. So the only good thing is they've got plenty of little resorts around with swimming pools, and they're all outside open air swimming pools, and you can just run and jump in and cool off. It's hot in the south. Gary, hi from Stoke-on-Trent. Well, hello, Gary. Have a good day, mate. I hope it's not raining. Terry, I'll give you a laugh. Had a politician around looking for votes and kept me here for half an hour, helping me put up Venetian blinds. Well, it was a good politician. Didn't need help, but thought I'd waste her time. Oh, it was a her, was it? Oh, I can see why you spent half. She must have been good looking then, for you to spend half an hour. Did you have her up on the chair while you were holding her? Oh, I get it. I see. Well done, Terry. Kay, Tony Blair, worst thing to happen to the people of Britain. Yeah, I know. He was the asshole who opened the floodgates, wasn't he, to mass migration. Him and Bush were in bed together. They were the war pigs who wanted to start a war in Iraq for weapons of mass destruction. What was that, 1993 or something like that, or 2003? Yeah. Yeah, Tony Blair. And do you know what? The gall of the bloke, sometimes he comes out on TV and he'll make a statement about whatever's going on at the current time, totally oblivious to what he's done in the past. No shame whatsoever. You know, everyone's calling him a war criminal, and he just blasé. Stephen, hi to you, Steve. I've enjoyed your channel, find it interesting as I'm planning to retire to the Philippines too. Got my house in Batangas, just need to get out there now. Oh, that's interesting. I take it you've been here before then. So let me know. Have you been here before? Put a comment in down below if I don't get to you again. Tell me how you've been. How did you get out here? Who have you met? How long have you been out here? What's going on? Have a conversation about it. Be interesting. Okay, Rishi is a 4 pieces of chicken floating in base curry away from disaster. You do seem to find that they all these politicians, they do seem to sort of like just cave into mob rule now. Just want to keep the peace, which isn't doing any good. Hayley, hello, how are you? Good to see you doing well. Congratulations to Tyler on passing driving test, 50k. And Ken seems really nice. Should get her on camera more. Oh, thank you, Hayley. I'll give you a call later. I'll get rid of this bloody cough. Yeah, it's all doing well. I'll give you a video call later when I can get the right time, when you're up at the right time. It'll probably be some hours time once you've had a sleep, Saturday during the day or sometime. I'll give you a shout. Gary, hi from Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. Well, hi to you, Gary. Andrew, great to see Al's well about roasting in Philippines. Well done to Tyler with his driving efforts. Hope you don't mind Ibrahim. I'm not sure what's that. Ibrahim. I don't know what that is. Any big word, I can't say it. Curbside Classics. Evening, Alan. How's it going? I know how hot black vinyl seats can get in UK, let alone in the Philippines. The seats in that car are leather, but they've got the perforations in them to stop you from sweating, let the air circulate more. But even so, you're sweating there. The air conditioning needs topping up in the car, by the way, because it's not working. It's run out of gas. But even without sitting on them seats, I've only got to walk around with the t-shirt on, and my back is dripping with sweat. And I mean, it's bad. That's why I've got to walk around quite a bit with no top on. it's just too hot. And it's the type of heat. You know, I keep trying to point this out. In different countries, you can get different types of heat. You can get dry heat, and you can get this sticky heat. It's a sticky heat out here. It's not nice. Dwayne, hi, hey. Oh, Haley, that's Dwayne saying hi, Haley. Dwayne Wood, Haley. Dwayne's always on the live streams. Foreigner expat, hello, how are you? You had a little rain recently. We did. We certainly did. By the way, I was informed after that video I put out, you know, there's a stream at the back there that it had been raining for about 15 minutes. I walked over to the stream and it's full of water. And I said, holy crap, that filled up with water quick. Well, apparently it didn't. It was further upstream, there's a dam. And from what Ken's telling me, if you get torrential rain, they'll open the dam to let the water out, which is why the stream filled up so fast, because otherwise the dam could the water in the level could rise to the top of the dam and overflow from the dam. So they opened the dam to let some of the water out, and that's why the stream filled up so quick. So I didn't know that until after I'd uploaded the video. So there you go. Pekka? Hi, do you miss Fords there? It was, I don't really miss Fords. I mean, I don't miss working on them, but it's kind of, it was nice. A lot of the time at work, it was nice to be at work and do the job I was doing. I did enjoy it for the most part. So I've just got a different life at the moment. Have we had this after roasting during the day? Quick Mark 3 Mondeo question. I find water in my spare wheel well when it rains. Not sure where to start looking. I would probably remove the rear lights, the rear tail lights, and check the foam seals around them. Maybe put a bit of sealant on them or something like that, or the actual seal around the tailgate area is secure all the way around. The only other thing you can really do is, in a lot of cases, you get leaks like that, you have to take your carpets and everything out of the spare wheel area, get someone with a bucket of water, pour it all over, and sit inside the spare wheel area with a torch and see if you can see where the water's coming in. So good luck. Peter, loving the videos, especially the ones when you're around town and seeing the food, etc. Is there anything like a KFC? Yes, there is. We don't have Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel here. Well, actually, I'm not sure. We have what's called Jollibee. and there's a lot of Jollibees around. Jollibee is the big KFC over here. It's chicken. It's the same. It's the same sort of thing. It's where you buy chicken. So it's a bit like McDonald's style, you know. We have the Chow King. The Chow King is, I like the Chow King. It's like a Chinese style McDonald's. They obviously have McDonald's over here as well. Just down the road, we have the Crispy King, which is like a chicken shop. That's all they sell. Really nice chicken. And all the chickens that you get over here, they're all fresh, free-range chickens. So they taste so good. Oh, my God. It's like, if you like chicken, this is chicken heaven. But yeah, Jollibee is the equivalent to KFC. Still living the dream in Philippines. Is it still good there? Yes, you get into as you probably know, you just get into your daily life, and the more time you spend here, the more you stop noticing everything. It's all like, wow, when you get here, but as time goes by, the more you become oblivious to what's around you, sort of thing. But I don't know. After 3.5 months, I'm still quite awed with everything. I'm still loving it all. I'm still yet to catch a Skylab full of people. You know, the motorbike with the boards either side. That can carry about 7 or 8 or more people on one motorbike. I want to get one of them on film. That's what I have to go up into the mountains where there's more of them about, but that's what I want. But there's so many sites out here. The only way I can put it is if I was in England, stood by the side of the road, watching the cars go by, it'd be boring, 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 boring. But over here, you can stand by the side of the road, and there is so much entertainment just watching what's going past you. You know, it's just, you know what I mean. Anyway, Nick, do you think we could ever manage without cars? You probably could, but it depends where you are. If you're living in a town or city and they've got really good transport, then yes, no problem. If you're in a rural area, it's going to be pretty damn difficult, I should think. Here where I am, you don't need a car. You've got thousands of tricycles everywhere. It's like and they're cheap. They're dirt cheap. Public transport. There's buses here, which, I mean, the difference here is you can load your shit. You can go into a shop and you can buy a 3-piece suite, and they will try and load it on top of a tuk-tuk for you and strap it down. That, you know, it's like that. All these taxi drivers, they're more than willing to help transport whatever load you want to transport. So don't worry about baggage. They'll find a way. So, but in England, I don't know. It's like, it depends where you live. Obviously, in a city, if you've got the public transport there, if you can afford it, it's okay. You don't really, I guess you can get away without using the car. But a lot of places in England, you probably do need a car because you're probably out. It's probably going to be miles before you get to the next town or wherever you want to go. And the bus service probably isn't that good. Holy crap. If I want to get anywhere around this area, I can jump on a tricycle or tuk-tuk. 2 minutes later, I'm in town. There's a bus terminal there, and I swear to God, this is a small town. It really is a small town, and there are buses and coaches all day long. I can literally walk into the bus terminal, and I pretty much know that the bus I want is going to be there, or it's going to be there in a few minutes. They're running all the time. So many buses going to one place. It's like you've got no worries about getting where you want to go. I know that's not quite the case in England. You probably go to a bus terminal and you've got to wait for God knows how long if you can work out how to read the flipping the, whatever you call it, to find out what bus you got to get on in the first place. Here, you haven't got to worry about that. There's guys just standing there. They'll tell you what bus to get on, or they've got them in the window, big sign, Kibawi, Kagonda Oro, Davo. You know, you can't get it wrong. But nah, it's not just that though. I think a lot of us, it's nice to own a car. To have a car, it's not just about getting where you want to go. It's about having that freedom, isn't it? It's about getting up and saying, do you know what? I fancy a trip to the coast today. You can jump in your car and just go. And you're your own pilot, aren't you? You can just go where you want to be. So, Massage, is that your name? Massage? Hi, Alan. I'm in Philippines. 2 apples cost more than bottle of local whiskey. Bring apple tree from UK and do business. Bloody hell. I've not actually checked out the price of apples. I will have a look when I go into the market again. I know that rum seems to be the big drinko. I'll tell you what I did check out yesterday, because I like the Jack Daniel's Coke, the can. I went into Centro supermarket, and I worked it out. It was basically £1 in English money, 70 something pesos, about 77 pesos, which is equivalent to £1 in English money for 1 can of Jack Daniel's Coke. I thought, oh, that's pretty pricey. But no, I will check out the price of apples. And believe me, apples in England are not cheap. I often looked at the apples in England, and you get like 6 apples, and they're like, it depends what variety they are, but you can be spending more than £2 for 6 apples. So I kind of like a lot of things in England I wouldn't buy no more because of the price of them. Not that I couldn't afford them. It's just the principle of it all. I won't buy things for sheer principle. If I see the price escalate to a point where I think, nah, I ain't paying that no more. And, you know, but then again, I guess over here, you ain't got to worry too much about apples, have you? There's so many trees hanging around. You just pick your own fruit, can't you? If you know where to go. Ants, been following your journey. Hope everything works out for you there. Good. Well, thank you, Ants. We'll see how things go. Does it feel like the US Wild West living there? It does. It certainly does. If I go through Quezon town, it's like a big wide road, and you've got like the shops either side, and it's like a great big drag goes all the way through the town. Long, it's like a hill you start on. You can see the whole town down below, and it sweeps all through. It's like one of them old Wild West towns that you would ride into on horses. And you've got the mountains in the distance, and it's just every time I see the scenery, it's just wow. It's just breathtaking. The scenery out here, it really is something else. So yeah, it doesn't cease to amaze me, the beauty of this place. Mike, can cockroach? Well, he is, isn't he? He's a cockroach. That's all you can say for the bloke. Sadiq Khan. Yeah. You can guarantee he's being paid off to do the shit he does. Anti-social, hello. 60 people have not hit the thumbs up. Kevin, hello. Hi, mate. It's still raining in Birmingham. Hope you're well. I wish it was raining here, but I think we're in for another hot one. In fact, does any of you out there if you're old enough, you'd probably have to be old enough to remember Michael Fish. Michael Fish, the weatherman who got it so wrong. Although technically he was just the weather forecaster, the person on TV. He obviously wasn't the people who were giving him the information, was he? But he was the fool guy, the one who said there was going to be light breezes or something, and it ended up in a full-on storm, which caused countless amounts of damage. The famous Michael Fish. Today, it's going to be a high of 35 degrees, cloudy, and a 30% chance of rain. So that could mean anything. That could mean nothing to a full-on torrent of rain coming down. Who knows? Northern Monkey, hello. All the political mob in the Houses of Parliament are looking after themselves, yep, and their friends to make themselves richer and the working man poorer. They have lost touch with how people are struggling. Yeah, well, it just goes to show during COVID, Boris Johnson and his mob, they were all giving the contracts for the PPE out to all their friends, weren't they? Of course, nothing happens about that, does it? No consequences for them people, is there? No poll tax, but land tax. Yeah, well, it's nothing, is it? It's next to bloody nothing. It's just one small payment per year. You know, a few pesos in equivalent terms. Flipping heck, my council tax in England, it was, I don't even know what it was now, but I was claiming single person's allowance, and mine was cheap. It was getting on for around about £100. It was about £111 a month in English money. But for a lot of people, depending where you live and what size house and how many bedrooms and all that, it can be a heck of a lot more than that, massively more than that. I remember back in I can't even remember when Margaret Thatcher was still in power, when she brought out the poll tax, there were riots in the streets. But of course, the law got it passed and it got brought in, and then the poll tax turned into council tax. Not an expense I particularly like. Andrew, hope you're doing well. I'm still watching your old blogs fixing Mondeos. Yeah, them videos go back a few years now, didn't they? Do you follow all foreigner vloggers in the Philippines in fighting the No, I don't. There's only actually a few people I watch over here. I know. I do watch one guy, even though it's not even very interesting. I watch Codger's Corner. And I watched the other guy because he's got my kind of mentality. What's his flipping name? He's over in West Mindanao, Red Zone Mindanao. Yeah, Red Zone Mindanao. That's his name. I watch him a bit, but I don't tend to watch much vloggers. I watch a couple, but not many. Bastian, hello. Really enjoying it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I've got one coming out later today. I've had it done for about 2 days now. I just haven't put it out. I just thinking when's the best time to put it out. Then I thought I'd put a live stream first because I haven't done one of them in a while. So I'll probably put it out by what's this? This is Saturday morning. This is Friday night for you if you're in the UK. So it'll probably be Saturday evening for you. I'll put it out. Agree with you, the Western world needs to change. I'm from Germany and believe it's even worse than in the UK. Moved to Hungary now, much better. Haven't had the balls to go further yet. Yeah, no, it's you know, I think you've got to shut off or just get out or something, because when you see what happens in certain countries, like Angela Merkel, when she just said, refugees welcome, come on in, you know, and half the Middle East or the flipping just flooded into Germany. Then you had 1,000 rapes overnight, and you know, and it's like you can't mix huge amounts of people in a small amount of time. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You can't do that to countries. It's all right bringing a certain amount of people in over a long period of time, but as long as it's not too many. But no, that's just one example of you know, these so-called leaders. They seem to be more. I don't know whether it's just deliberate or just total incompetence. And I think quite often it seems to be total incompetence. Yes. Thank you, Neil. Yes, I've been to Philippines about 20 times. Bloody hell. That's a lot of flipping airfares. Got married in Hong Kong. I'd like to go to Hong Kong at some point. 1995 to a wonderful Filipina, now living in Essex. Much prefer the village life in the Philippines. Oh, wow. Oh well, you're well versed over here then, aren't you? So yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Steve? You've seen both sides of the coin. You know what life is. I mean, obviously, being to Hong Kong would be one hell of an experience. I've yet to experience that. You know what life is like in England. You know how things are. You've had a life over there. You know how things are over here. And I guess when you get to a certain age, you know where you want to be. So good on you. Hope it all goes well. If you come over here at some point, we maybe meet up at a certain point. Who knows? Anyway, thank you, Stephen, for that. Most interesting. Dick, hi, Ellen. Just want to say thanks. Well, the hell was that? There was some kamikaze fly just went zoom and hit the plant, and I'm like, what the frick? As long as it don't come over here. Well, thanks, Dick. Thank you too. For all your videos, as the owner 2016 Cougar, your videos have helped me so many times. Oh, great. Well, I know some of the videos were useful. A lot of them are nonsense, but some of them have actually been useful. But yeah, I try to put out some useful information at some times. Well, thank you too, Dick. Appreciate it. I prefer KFC to Jollibee. I guess it depends what chicken you get, really. The last time I went in Jollibee over here, it wasn't that great an experience. I think the food was okay, but it was the music. It was the music they were playing. It was so loud in the Jollibee. It was like you can't have a conversation with a person opposite your table because the music was too loud. That put me off a bit. I know how they like their loud music here in the Philippines and all that, but remember, I'm a Westerner, so it's like I like to have a bit of background music, not boom boom. Filipinos are so easy to get on with, and you will never go hungry. Yeah, dead true. You know, it amazes me. It amazes me how I know there's a lot of Filipinos over here doing incredibly well, wealthy and everything, but when you out here in rural areas and you see people working for a day's pay, and there are so many people here that really don't have next to nothing, yet these people are so happy, you know, and they're so willing to talk to you and friendly. It's like, it's just strange how nice the people are. It's just bizarre. You can't even explain it. You'd have to like be here for yourself to actually be around the Filipinos to understand how nice the culture is and how nice these people are. It just, It's just a bizarre. I'm not used to it, but it's good. It's like I say, when you're out here, there's not one point in the 3.5 months I've been out here I have felt unsafe. Not once. It's like in England, you can walk through the town centre of a Saturday night, and there's drunks around, and there's people gobbing off, and people with their hoods up hanging out your local convenience store, and it's kind of an intimidating, eerie kind of atmosphere in England, that you don't walk down a lot of the streets because that's a Muslim area. You don't want to go there, and it's just not a nice place in a lot of areas. I guess it's different if you're in a village, but in the main towns, it can be not a good experience to sort of like walk around at certain times of night. But here, you can walk around of the night time, and there's people out everywhere, sitting outside their houses, drinking, and the worst you're going to get is they're going to call you over and ask you to have a drink with them, and they want to talk to you. They want to get to know you. You don't get people shouting abuse at you. It's just so friendly. Anyway, I'll carry on because I could bang on all night about it. Did you ever catch the crocodile up the? Yeah, I know. It wasn't a crocodile. It was a lizard. It was about that long, quite a large lizard. I saw it. It was on the ground, and it shot up the tree. It went boom, up the flipping tree, and I grabbed my camera, went over to it, but it went right to the top of the tree, and I couldn't really get a good shot on it, and it stayed up there. I'm surprised that Ken sounds so panicky when she sees snakes and lizards, as I thought she would be well used to do. You don't actually see that many out here. I haven't seen many. I've seen 2 snakes since I've been out here, and one was a tiny one and the other one was fairly big. But I'm kind of aware of where I'm walking, so you've got to sort of like keep an eye out. I think a lot of it, I think she's seen a snake jump, because if a snake gets intimidated by you, or if it feels boxed in, it might jump at you. So, and if a snake was to bite you, you don't know whether it's going to be a poisonous snake or God only knows what out here, do you? So it's not the kind of things you want to come into contact with. You need to take a ride in the roof of the jeepney. Do you know what I want to do? What I'm going to do? I've not rode a jeepney yet, and that is a cardinal sin. It really is. I want to jump on the back of a jeepney on the rail at the very back. So while the jeepney's rolling along, I want to run and jump onto it and hold the handrail and hang off the back. That's what I'm going to do. I will make that happen. Blonde man, hello, how you doing? What's the typical car used as a taxi? From what I've seen here in Mindanao, in Davao City, which is the big city, is a Toyota Vios. They're common as hell, thousands of them. Or Mitsubishi Mirage, which is pretty similar looking car. They're nice looking cars actually, but they that's what they use. There isn't a great deal of variation in the way of cars out here, but it is the Toyota Vios is the main car as a taxi. Where are we? Our house next to road, and I rush to film on my phone all the wacky traffic, such as flip-flop motorcycles, big trucks, and overloaded Skylabs. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, quick, get the camera, get it all the time. And because she gets me to flipping drive. I used to like sitting in the passenger seat because I could be quicker on the camera, but she likes me to get the camera out. And of course, I'm driving and I'm sort of like grabbing the camera, trying to get this shot while I'm driving at the same time. Something you wouldn't be able to do back in England, because if the cops see you, they'd pull you straight over. But out here, no one gives a shit. It's like I'm trying to get the shot all the time. Every time I see something, I've got to get that. I've got to get that, because there's just so much to see, and it's a lot of it is just normal life for the people out here. Like 6 or 7 people on a motorbike is like, it's no big deal. It's just we're going to the shops. But for me, it's like, oh wow, this is interesting, and it's just every day you're seeing this kind of stuff, and I want to capture it so I can stick it in the videos. Where am I? Oh, Blonde Man. Well, thank you very much. Do you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to buy a Jack Daniel's Coca-Cola. That'll be for the next live stream. Well, thank you very much, Blonde Man. Foreigner expat, the buses in Maramag are excellent and fantastic value to travel to. Yeah, they are very cheap. I went to Valencia City the other week, and it cost me 50 pesos, which is not a lot. I mean, that's a fair old journey, really. Let me see. 69 pence in English money to get from Maramag to Valencia, and that's a pretty much of a trek. So unbelievably cheap. Bastian, own car, yep, freedom. That's why the lefties and Big Gov hate them. Well, you see what they're trying to do, can't you? They're trying to push this electric nonsense. Now, before I even flipping get into it all, but it's like, it's not going to work, is it? The cost of living is high enough as it is. It's like, it's only the people that can actually afford electric cars, and it's going to work for them, are the people that are going to be able to have these things. But for the average person, who can afford an electric car? They're not exactly cheap, are they? And then you've got all this range and anxiety you're going to come across. You take a petrol or diesel car, you pull into the petrol station, couple minutes, you filled it up, you're on your way, or however much you want to put in it. You know what you're doing. With an electric car, you're constantly going to be thinking to yourself, how much range have I got? Where's my next stop? Where's the next charging point? Is there going to be a queue of people there? How long have I got? It's just bullshit. I wouldn't want to own one of these. I wouldn't mind having a driving one for a laugh, but I wouldn't want to own one. It just seems like a whole heap of problems. Oh, look at that. Just jumped out of nowhere. Out of the chiller. Now, give me a petrol or diesel any day. Of course, they're trying to take away your freedom, aren't they? Yeah, they want to ban diesels because they're bad. Funny thing is now that diesels have got to the point where they're cleaner than they've ever been. So now they're just pushing the petrol cars, but you know. Where are we? Well, I've lost my. Couldn't be doing with the cockerels waking me up so bloody early. Yeah, you get used to it. After a while, you stop hearing them. But yeah, they don't stop. Morning, noon, or night, they're off. They're sounding off. Less stressful than driving in the Philippines, taking the bus. Going over the mountains is stressful with all the loons driving. Yeah, I quite like the bus. I have to say, I do like the bus. I never thought I'd hear myself say it, but it's fun taking the bus. You can just sit down, relax, and let someone else do the driving. Lorburn, better with Android. Blonde, I remember the Great Storm of '87. That must be the one where that Michael Fish got wrong, that ruined his career as the weatherman. poor old Michael Fish. You want to, for anyone who doesn't know, Google Michael Fish, the weatherman. Then then you'll see what I mean. Dwayne, hello. 2-bed. What's that? £1,898 a year. What do you mean, Dwayne? I don't understand. Emphasize. You have to explain that a bit better. I love the cut of your political chip. There's a lot of people out there that explain things a lot better than me. I'm not very good when it comes to explaining political stuff. It's just I see a bunch of idiots that are doing nothing for England. Chris, 1,400 quid for my 3-bed terrace in Yorkshire. Still not cheap though. I'm an ex-mechanic and I have a long top estate. Oh yeah, Mark III 2.2 titanium X. Can't stand these Euro boxes now. No soul in them. Technology, I'd shit it. You need to have scanners and too pricey, not like older. No, the Mark III was the exciting one, wasn't it? That was the car that you could say you were on the edge with that car. They were edgy cars. They were fun. They were good to drive, handled well. The last of the exciting Mondeos to drive. Where you are, labourer earns 300 pesos or about £8 a day. Handy if you want some work doing. Yeah, I know it's not a lot. Not a lot at all. Mike, time for bed. Yes, it's time for me to call an end to the live stream, I reckon. It's been going on a bit, isn't it? What is it, 7:35? That's two hours I've been sat here. Oh, hello, Steve. How are you? How long can you stay there? I can stay here indefinitely, but basically 3 years. Then you have to leave the country for an hour, maybe, then come back and start all over again. So that's about it. I'm going to have to call an end to the live stream because it's been going on a bit. Need to get on the jeepneys soon before the government ban them and put all the owner operators into cooperatives and put them. Yeah, you know it's coming sooner or later, didn't you? So I better get on a jeepney. Yeah, you're right. Right, I'm going to have to call a day because time's getting on. So for everybody in England, have a good evening and a fantastic Saturday and Sunday weekend. For me, it's just early morning starting, so I'll probably be going into town and getting some breakfast. I could get breakfast here, but I like eating out of some of these cafes because they're all open air and it's just nice to eat out and it's cheap. So thank you, everybody, for joining the live stream. It's appreciated. I thought I'd pull one because it's been 2 weeks since the last done one. So have a good one out there, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much. Adios for now. See you later.